Hi there, Year 10. It's week 5 of online learning and it's lesson 1. So first lesson of the week, and your date and title, the date you'll need to work out for yourself. That's the day you're doing this lesson, obviously. And the title is El Acoso Escolar. El Acoso Escolar. Now, the objectives for the lessons for this week are, we're looking at school problems and pressures. So learning vocab to do with that. We're going to be doing reading and writing tasks mostly this week, and we're going to evaluate and set targets on how to improve further towards the end of the week. So to start off with, there is a list of vocabulary here which we're going to go through. So el fracaso escolar. So it means no sacar buenas notas. So it says fracaso, éxito. It's an example here of, it's basically failing at school. Okay, so el fracaso escolar. Escolar is the adjective there. La escuela, you know, el instituto, it's all to do with school. So scholarship is the root that you can see here, or that's the sort of type of word it is. So it's to do with school, it's an adjective, so school failure. You're going to write the vocab in a minute, so don't try and do it now. We're just going to go through it to start off with. El estrés de los exámenes. So exam stress, another big problem at school. The verb at the bottom there would be estar estresado. And I put an A there on the end because obviously if you're a girl, you would be estresada. Third one. Sorry, this is struggling again, my computer. There we go. And now it's gone too far. Let's just go back. Sorry about this. Okay, so before we move on, we had el acoso escolar. So el acoso is like harassment, bullying. So school bullying. Verbs that you might want to use here: intimidar, maltratar, insultar. So it's to intimidate, to treat badly, or treat badly, to insult. Burlarse is to make fun of. No respetar is to not respect someone. So bullying or harassment. El ataque físico. Una pelea is a fight. So physical attack, a fight. Golpear is a verb there you'd want to use. It's to hit or to punch. Hacer novillos. So hacer novillos means to bunk off school or to truant from school. So at the bottom here we've got no ir al cole, not going to school, or no asistir al cole, not attending school. Repasar los apuntes para los exámenes, something you need to do. Repasar means to go over or to revise. Pasar is to spend as well. So pasar tiempo, to spend time somewhere. But repasar is to go over, to revise. Los apuntes are your notes, and you revise your notes for exams. My computer, I think it's the internet, doesn't work very well here sometimes. La presión del grupo, so group peer pressure, or pressure from the group, from your peers. So someone being pressurized to smoke there. Okay, here's all the vocab. So I've written it out here, and you need, please, to match it up. We've got el acoso escolar, physical attacks. El ataque físico is a, sorry, el ataque físico is a physical attack. El acoso escolar would be, can you remember which one it was? El acoso escolar is bullying. So can you please write out this vocabulary, matching up the Spanish with the English? Off you go. You can take you about 5 minutes. So do this, please. Pause the video and then move on when you've done the task. Okay, so hopefully you've now done the task. And here we go. El acoso escolar is bullying. El ataque físico, physical attack, or attacks. El fracaso escolar, can you remember that one? That was failing at school. So, you know, failing exams, not getting what you should do. So el estrés de los exámenes is exam stress. La presión del grupo is peer pressure. Hacer novillos, someone who, they skip school, to skip classes, to bunk off school, to truant. Respetar a los demás is to respect other people. Maltratar a los demás is to mistreat others. Insultar a los demás, to insult others. Golpear a los demás, to hit others. Intimidar a los demás is to intimidate others. Okay, so we need to practice here. So we've just done a lot of vocab, which we went through quite quickly. I want you to think about ways to remember that. So in fact, before we move on, just go back here. With this here, can you please put together some sort of resource that you could revise this vocabulary with? So whether it's some flashcards or whether you maybe want to make a set of words on Memrise or a mind map. So think about a resource that you could put together to help you remember this vocabulary, because you will need it. There are lots of verbs here that you need. And if you were doing a piece of writing about school, you may well want to be able to talk about school problems and pressures. Okay, so practicamos. We've got on the left-hand side, I think it's 5. Yes, 5 sentences, please, I would like you to put into Spanish. Now, you need to look back at the work you've done in the previous, I think it was last week or the week before. It was the week before. Last week was teachers. The week before was school rules, and it had these phrases: you should, you mustn't. So you may want to look back a couple of weeks to check that vocabulary and check the verb forms. When you've done that, please, then you can do these sentences. So put them into Spanish. It'll take you a few minutes, like 10 minutes or so, to translate these, please, accurately. Pause the video now, and when you are ready, move on. Okay, so I'm assuming you have done that. So the first one, you should respect others. Deberías respetar a los demás. So that's the conditional of the verb deber. You should, deberías. You should respect others. It's important not to skip classes. Es importante no hacer novillos. It's important not to skip classes, not to truant. In Weydon, there isn't much bullying. En Weydon no hay mucho acoso escolar. Hopefully there isn't. If there is, you need to tell people about it. So en Weydon no hay mucho acoso escolar. There is a lot of peer pressure. I think there is everywhere. Hay mucho. There is a mistake there. I'm going to change it now, just to show that. It should be mucha, la presión. It's mucha presión del grupo. Start from this slide again, so sorry about that. Hay mucha presión del grupo. There's a lot of peer pressure. You mustn't insult others. No se debe insultar a los demás. Okay, now we have just looked at quite a lot of vocabulary. I've asked you to come up with a mind map or a resource to actually practice the vocabulary you've learnt. I'm also going to put a Quizlet on Google Classroom so that you can practice this. I haven't put the link here, but I will put it up on Google Classroom so you can click on it there or copy and paste and then go to Quizlet, please, to practice the vocabulary for this bit of the unit. Please bear in mind, just do the study activities at some length first before you go on to the play. It's important to actually really practice the vocab. Okay, so that's the end of lesson 1. Once you've done that, this is the end of the input side of this lesson, you need to go and do the Quizlet to carry on and learn that for about 15 minutes or so. So just to recap of the objectives: vocab, describe school problems and pressures, doing a reading task, which you did a translation as well, and then we'll move on to look at targets later in the week. Thank you very much indeed, Year 10. I will see you in lesson 2.